Hello everyone, welcome to part 3. Alright, we discussed method 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we are discussing method number 7. Please consider that as something very crucial. Once you set and inform the rules, do not break them by unfollowing. Students really give value to those teachers' instructions or those teachers themselves who do what they say, who keep up their words. So once you set up, uh, an environment in the class, or you give instruction to the students, or you ask them, you are a person who likes to do stuff in this way, and then you deviate, it's really casting a bad impression. If you are talking so much about time management and you yourself are late in the class, or not considering it much important, no need for talking about time management then. Some other tips for time management. Okay, I inform the students very clearly in the first class. Yeah, this is in the very first class about the time. You have to come to the class 10 minutes prior. For instance, what do I mean by prior? It doesn't mean that prior the class. It means if if my class timing is from 8 to 10, so I ask them, you have to be there in the class 10 to 8, because 8 means I'm going to take a start of the class. Your teaching time starts at 8, which means you should be seated before, right? So I clearly inform them, and I also informed them the same during the online classes. So my students were always log in 10 minutes or 15 minutes prior to the class. Why? Because they always saw me, I'm there even 20 minutes before the class. So it really helped for having a good discussion with the students before the class starts, like that. And it also develops their habit of reaching somewhere ahead of the time, especially when you are going for a job interview and your interview is at 10 o'clock. It doesn't mean you should reach there by 10 o'clock. You should be there 30 to 10. So you should be settled down. There is a lot of stress going on. You should be good in breathing and looking good, not sweating, and meeting the people there. So, or in case you are having some bad day and your tire is flat, your car tire gets flat, so you have some time to manage for plan B. Like the same appreciation, I appreciate those students who are always keeping the time. Five fingers are not the same, so some of the students are those who, if they understand that the teacher is really asking us to be on time, and she said 10 minutes before the class, so sometimes they really inspire you. They make you happy when you see them, they are on time, or they're coming even 15 minutes prior to 8. So what I do, I quickly write their name, because I see them entering, or even if I don't know their name and it is my second or third class, I write their name on a piece of paper, and before I start the class, I call upon their names and I say to them, thank you so much for being a timekeeper. And the others are like, okay, they are appreciated. So it really helps in conditioning students to follow the time. So you can see this is another piece of slide, and you can clearly see it's the first class of public speaking. So the students are aware that their time to be seated in the physical mode and to log in the online is 10 minutes prior, and the teachers are going to be there 15 minutes before. So now, coming up to the interview, I set up the scene for the interview. So I'm going to share some pictures with you, which would let you understand what practical scenario or real life scenario I was talking about. So this was the gallery that I'm going to share with you, the picture gallery. This is the corridor where I let the students to sit because they have to wait for their turns to appear for the job interview. And then this signboard which is indicating the way towards the room. And they knew it's our teacher, and I knew they are my kids, but you know, they had a feeling of a real life job interview on that day. And the, you know, signboard, which is not the board, it's like on the glass paper we wrote job interviews are in progress. And then the room, and then the hot seat, you can see the chair is ready for them, and you know, that big table where the recruiters are going to sit, and they have to sit in front of them. And I also recorded them prior to the interview, during the interview, and even after the interview. So you can see that. And we really had to provide 4 or 5 bottles to the candidates. They wanted the water. Okay, so we were asking, initially it was the lucky people, those students who could face 3 panel members. So we were there, but some of them also faced 5 members or 4 panel members. So these are our colleagues who were supporting me, or who were assisting me being the panel members, and their job was only to perform or to act as the panel members, and every panel member had a set of questions. So for instance, if we say there were 10 questions, so everyone chose 2 of each, or 3, like that. And I told them something here. This is, I always try to challenge the leaders, or the initiative or the innovative thinker of my class. I told this panel group that in case you find a student is doing a good job, like he or she is giving great answers, please give them an additional question, because I want to check, I want to measure their level of confidence. I want to also let them go through facing the I would say surprising questions, or those questions that they didn't even think about. But at the same time, I told the same thing to my students in the class, that if I find any of you that you are doing great job, so to help you practice more or enjoy more the shiver, because in the end of everything you would be great learners. So I would like to give you some additional question, and I must say they surprised us with their answers to those questions. So some of our students here, you can see their faces, because they were also giving very professional way of answering to us. And you can enjoy the video that I would be sharing you in the upcoming episodes. ADRI, as I am from a quality assurance background, so implementation of ADRI is very important, and we should consider it also important in doing anything. And it was also part of the study that we had to conduct a survey in addition to the interviews that we conducted. So approach, deployment, results, and improvement. So it's important for us. We had a plan, we deployed it, now we are getting the results, and these results are going to help us for the future improvement. So we conducted a very short survey from the students, but the questions in the staff survey were like a little bit longer, like 8 maybe from the staff and 4 from the students, because already we had their verbal record. Now if you look at the question, so the moment they enjoyed the most, when they were practicing and listening to the answers of each other. You remember I just told you the activity part. When they practice in the class and also during the interview, everything. Okay, great. That works make me right person. Okay, because they were enjoying the activity part. Okay, The fourth question about the first goal, interacted with interviewers. When you asked, when I joined the members in the hall, I was feeling that the interview was as a real one. When I speak without fillers, and I enjoyed a lot. Yes, fillers, I always tell them, fillers are killers. It's an amazing moment. I like that. By the way, I'm reading with you today in detail. When they ask me, how are you, please ignore the typo. When I answer all the question when I was at front of the interviewers to be in real experiment, I forgot some words. Okay, when I was doing the interview speaking about special classes, these special classes are related to their specialization. I felt confident and comfortable in this interview. I really appreciate the teachers who asked me and didn't make me nervous. They were smiling all the time. The moment I entered the interview, see that entry, that they are really experiencing a real life scenario, that they are coming for a job interview. They cannot forget that ever. I saw the smile on the faces of the professors. When I talked about my project, when I entered the room, the way questions were asked, the doctors were happy to conduct the interview. When I did the interview, live the moments of job interview. Okay, maybe he meant the live moments. Talking about my project when I speak confidently, when we did the interview like a real interview. So most of them are talking about. So I would just skim through it. Goal and the last about why should we hire you. Yeah, okay. When I entered the interview, when I was waiting for the job interview, I felt like it's real. When I felt confident in myself. Now, how this activity can be improved any further. So ensure that all students are prepared for the interview by giving practice a lot for enough time. It means they want to do more practice. Okay, you see the next one, ask more questions to be ready for any job interview. Add questions about specialization. The question for this specialization was there, by the way. More practice. Okay, it helps us break the barrier of fear and anxiety about how the interview mechanism will be. I like that one. Now we have a background on the nature of the interview. It will help me when I'll go for the job interview. How I can speak in a better way, change the time for interview. Maybe that student was really in rush for the next class. Can be improved by putting more questions. See, they wanted more, even more than the 8 questions or 9 or 10. I think the questions are more clear. I think the activity is good, but in my opinion, I think it will be better if there was any more than 3 interviewers. Okay, so they wanted more. They wanted more interviewers. Great. By constant practice, by practicing more and ask more questions related to the job, and it improves us when we apply for a job. Will improve my confidence. Nothing. By practicing more, everything perfect. Increased activity. Do more. You see, in a nutshell, you can say they want more practice. They enjoy the practical part of that activity. Really good, no need for improvement. No, there would be always an area for improvement. By practicing or doing the interview again, that will help me to do better, reducing the number of people doing the interview because it will reduce stress. Okay, when we go for a job interview, it helps us to have knowledge and experience about the job. By making more interviews, will come more confidence. Okay, what I didn't like about the activity. Now, the answer to that, nothing. Everything was good. Nothing is mentioned because I enjoyed it so much and learned something that will help me in future. Nothing, nothing, nothing. In fact, everything was perfect and organized. I like everything. I don't have anything negative. Again, the same. When felt nervous at the beginning. I like that part. Okay, so the distance between the candidate and the employer. So does he mean there shouldn't be any distance? Okay, that's a funny one. See how cute are they? What I didn't like is nothing, nothing. Everything was good. Okay, the time, nothing. Everything was perfect. I feel some stress in the middle of my talk, but after that I felt good. Okay, there are more members for conducting the interview. Everything was good. More questions make me not comfortable. Okay. Anyways, you can see the result, the graphic result of that. So 99.9, they are saying interview was a great. Yeah, okay, so these were the MCQs. So the result of the MCQs, it means we asked more than. Okay, so those were the questions. and these are the MCQs. They learn how to appear for a job interview, so the satisfaction level, and I want more practical activities like that. So it's a great answer, it's a great response from the student, and I'm really happy to see that they loved the practicality. They took full benefit from its from the learning of this experience, and they will never forget that. We also showed that good news. We shared it on social media and Oman Daily Observer, and we shared the same news with our students, and they were happy to see something, we are there, or this news is there. So the same information we shared on the university website. In the end, I would just like to say, you can see this is us, and these are our kids, these are our students. We have to question ourselves, we have to ensure, we have to confirm, we have to go for a self-analysis, because that are we really preparing our graduates for the world of tomorrow, because that is very critical. I hope you have agreed or enjoyed or benefited somehow from the presentation that I shared with you. I would love to hear from you, your methods, your tips, how well we can improve it any further. And very soon I'm going to share the video including the students prior to the interview, during the interview, and after the interview. Likewise, the panel members sharing their views with us. Have a great time. Stay happy. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.